Hi guys, today we're going to show you how we did installation of the OEM hitch and the OEM wiring harness in Volvo XC40. This is how both of them look like. We did need to cut out a section. If you look over here, you'll see a cutout, a section in the bumper in order to fit our hitch and the harness. But the good thing is Volvo already actually marked this piece that needs to be cut out, and it was actually fairly straightforward and easy, which we'll show you guys later in the video. Right now I will show you the distance to the ground from different points on the hitch. So from the hitch itself we're looking at roughly 11.5 inches to the ground. From our 7-blade socket, I believe it's about 10 3/4, and from the bracket right here we're looking about 10.5 inches from the ground, or about 26-27 centimeters. Also guys, the wiring comes with the 7-blade option right here, and at the same time we have the 4-pin option as well. The installation is fairly straightforward, but since we're installing both the hitch and the wiring, it took more time. It's pretty time consuming. We had to disassemble a lot of panels in the back of the vehicle. We also had to remove the rear bumper. But the good thing is the wiring for the trailer, the vehicle actually comes pre-wired for this one, which is very helpful, and it took us less time to install the wiring. Also, what I would like to point out is that the OEM hitch gets mounted differently than a lot of similar aftermarket options, and of course we will show you all this in the video. Before we start the disassembly, make sure that your rear hatch door is open, and now we'll have to disconnect the battery. The negative terminal of our 12-volt battery is located right here. You have to use 10mm socket. And now we can proceed with the panel removal. On each side you will see these springs, so you have to undo it this way, and one more on this side. Same idea. Now this will allow you to lift it up like this. You guys can also remove these upper two sections by removing these clips. Just pry them open with a screwdriver, but we'll try to remove it with all 3 pieces. So the way to do it is to approximately at this angle you have to pull towards yourself, and you have to pull hard. Repeat it on the other side the same way. And then it will come out. This piece that you can see right here goes inside this hinge. You have to lift it up approximately this far, because otherwise if you do it flat, you'll see this plastic piece that goes inside and will hold it in place. So again, you have to lift it up approximately like this and then pull towards yourself. Now we will remove the jack and the spare tire. Now we can remove the plastic panel next to the seat belt. Just slide it towards yourself. There are 3 clips that hold it in place. Next we will remove this bolt. You'll need to use 8mm socket. And then you can remove the next plastic panel, lift it up. And there will be 2 clips that hold it in place. The next panel that we have to remove is this side one. You have to pull it towards yourself. And we have again a few clips 1, 2, 3, 4 that hold it in place. Some clips may be left here, so you have to pull it out. Now we need to remove this panel. These are the clips that hold it in place. One in the middle, and on the top you have these hooks, and because of that you have to start pulling from the bottom. Behind this plastic panel you will see the seat belt tensioner right here, and this is a speaker, and this will be the way to access it if you guys want to replace them at some point. And this is, by the way, our FitCam-X rear camera cable, which we installed in our previous video. I will leave a link for that in the description as well. Now we will need to remove this protective trim piece. There will be one bolt underneath, so we'll use the trim removal tool to pry it open. And this is how it looks. As you can see, we have small clips that hold it in place. And this is how it looks underneath. We will need to remove both of them. We will use 8mm socket to remove 4 bolts, 2 on the top and 2 on the inside. Now we can remove this plastic panel. Just lift it up. Now we can remove the next plastic panel, again 8mm socket. There are 3 bolts that hold it in place, and as you can see, after that you will be able to remove it completely. And this is how it looks. Now I will start to remove this big piece of trim. Behind you will see a number of connectors. There is one right here. This one provides the light. This one is for the 12-volt socket. This is how it looks. This is the number. The removal of the panels on the other side will be very similar. You'll have to remove this plastic piece first, and then you'll be able to remove the rest of them. Well, of course you have to start from the top. Here, by the way, we have the slot for the SIM card, in case if you guys don't know. This is the SIM card right here. And this is where you will find the connectors for our towing control unit, which we install shortly. As you can see, it is well secured with tape, and this is how they look like. And right here you have the grounding bolt. Next we will remove two bumpers. Right here you just twist them counterclockwise and remove one on this side and the second one right here. Now you'll need to remove this mud guard. You will see a couple of bolts there and the clip. Also we'll have to remove this wheel arch trim, the black one, and you'll see a number of bolts on the bumper itself. I believe there are 5 of them. All of them are Torx 25 bolts, and in order not to remove the wheel, we'll actually use this Vera set, which has the Torx bit, and it's small enough in order for us to reach all the necessary bolts, again without removing the rear wheel. And we will also use a small flat screwdriver to pry it open. Again, you have to press first in the middle and then pry it open. And now we can remove the 2 bolts here. Now you will need to repeat the same procedure on the other side. Underneath the bumper you will also see 4 bolts which we need to remove as well, so we'll do them before we continue the wheel arch bolts. Again, it's Torx 25, and there are 2 more on the other side. And now we can undo wheel arch screws. There are 5 of them, and now we'll remove another 5 on the other side. Okay guys, so basically we have to start pulling on this side, from the inside part basically of the car, and you will see a number of plugs, and then in the end on the other side, please keep that in mind, we've got a hook on this side. Obviously you should start from the other side, the removal, not from this one. When you guys do this procedure, some clips unfortunately may break. We have one broken one which was located right here, and if you take a look inside, the other white part is actually can be visible from here. So it's a good idea to have a set of extra clips when you guys do this procedure. Also, as you can see, some of these rubber gaskets got stuck to the frame, so you have to remove them and put them back on the wood plugs. Again, in this case we only broke one, which is not too bad, but as I said, you should have a separate set of these plugs. And one more time I want to point out this hook on this side goes in there. So when you do the removal, again start from this side, because if you break it, it will be loose and you might end up getting this whole part. We'll repeat the process on the other side. Again, start from the inside. And in this case, it looks like we managed to save all of them, which is good. And again, guys, if you need any of these, I'll try to leave you a link in the description for these plugs. Again, we have some of these washers still stuck to the frame. Put them on the plugs. The purpose of these is to prevent any rattling when this piece is attached to the vehicle, and I believe they're called anti-rattle washers. To remove our bumper cover, first we'll have to fold this, and underneath you'll see a couple of latches that hold our cover in place, so we'll have to use either our fingers or trim removal tool to first pull it like this to unlock this latch, and there's another one on top which is now accessible because we removed this trim piece first. So as you can see, we had to use the trim removal tool to press on the latches inside, which we'll show you guys shortly. But as you can see, we managed to remove the front part now. Now we'll do the same on the other side. Again, locate these latches and remove the trim from them. Okay guys, and now you have to pull this part off. As you can see, it starts to come out as well. Now again we'll use the trim removal tool to pry it, and at the same time we're trying to push on those latches, and this will release this bumper cover. And there it is. One more time. This is how you do it. You push right here, and this will allow us to remove the cover. And now we'll keep pulling, and as you can see, it starts to come off everywhere. And at this point, you'll need the second person, preferably, in order not to drop the cover. And this is how you do it. Right here we have the connector that needs to be removed as well.
So you have to push on this step very firmly to release the latch. Show once more time. So push on this step, you feel a click, and now you could remove it.
Alright, our bumper is off. I'll show you guys again how it gets removed. First of all, we have two different types of hooks here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this, and these guys correspond to, there is one right here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in this case you can try to manually pull them off, or you can use the trim removal tool trying to press on top of them, whichever way it's easier. There's no perfect solution, so you basically can try both. We managed not to break anything, and this is how it looks. On the top we have 3 like this, so as you can see this is different type now, and this is where it gets connected on the vehicle. So in this case actually using the trim removal tool worked better. These hooks on the other side will be the same. Another thing that we want to point out is that we have these 2 openings on each side, which correspond to these metallic hooks here, 1 and 2, and you have to keep them in mind when you remove it. You have to just kind of lift it up and down, and they will come off. These guys here, they will come off on their own, and these were, you'll see the marking. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it just goes in, slides in, so it comes out very easy. Okay, so I'll quickly show you what we have inside here. We have our, again, main connector. We've got exhaust pipes. We have our kick sensor right here. And the most important thing in our installation, today you'll see the marking right here. This, we'll have to cut it out in order to fit our hitch and the wiring connector. Besides that, we have connectors for the fog lights, we've got parking sensors, and again guys, this is how it looks. We'll use the Dremel tool to cut out the opening, and in case if you guys don't have power outlets nearby, you can use power station like this. Okay, the cutting is complete, and this is how it looks from the other side. We might need to use a file to just remove these small pieces, but overall, as you can see, it worked quite well. The Dremel works in this case, definitely. And again, thank you Volvo for leaving the marks for the cutting. Now we'll remove the bumper beam. Again, we're using Vera ratchet. It's been held by 3 bolts. We're using 15mm socket. And we have 3 more bolts on the right side. And this is, guys, how the hitch looks like in the box. The box is quite big. It says Volvo on top. I'll show you guys the part number for this one right here. And let's open the box. And this is our hitch. It's quite big, as you can see, but looks like it's more or less one piece. Set comes with 2 inserts. These are basically inserts used for the mounting, which we'll show you guys shortly. And this is a part number for these ones. Before you guys install the hitch, Volvo actually recommends to cover this bare metal, which you can see around these bolts, either with the rust inhibitor, or in our case we'll probably just use some paint, automotive paint. But before that we'll actually clean it. Again, we'll use our power station and the Dremel tool, this metallic brush, to clean the surface. We'll use isopropyl alcohol to degrease the area now. The paint that we are using is not the same one that is on the vehicle right now. Our idea is just to cover this metal, since we will install the hitch now and the bumper, and won't have access to this area anymore. Also, Volvo recommends to use isopropyl alcohol to clean the surface where the bolts will go on both sides, outside and inside. Now we're ready to install our brackets, and right here we have our bolts. There is no special recommendation from Volvo as to whether you should use any sealant or not, but we will still use RTV silicone as a sealant. This way the area underneath the bolts won't rust. The bracket goes in. And the second one goes in. Just repeat the process the same way. Now we will use the torque wrench to tighten our bolts. Volvo recommends to use 30 Newton meters at first, and then we'll come back to them after we install the hitch itself, and we'll have to tighten them again. But initially it has to be 30 Newton meters. And now we can put the hitch on top of the brackets. As we said, we're using these two bolts to mount it. So 1, 2, and on the other side 3 and 4. Now these nuts go on top. And by the way, guys, we are not reusing this bumper beam. The hitch goes in place of it, as you can see, so you can discard of the beam now. The tightening of these nuts go in 2 stages. First, it's gonna be 90 Newton meters. So once you hear the click, we'll do the second bolt right away. And then the other side. As the second stage of tightening, Volvo suggests to tighten these nuts 60 degrees more. So basically what this means is this will be roughly that much, roughly 60 degrees. So that's how far you now have to tighten these bolts. And in this case we'll use a breaker bar. Keep going about 60 degrees, and that's it. And just repeat the whole process on all 4 nuts. So as you can see, the torque is quite high here. Now we have to come back to the side bolts again and tighten them again, and Volvo wants us basically to do the same procedure, do it in 2 stages. First you will tighten them to 90 Newton meters, all 4 of them, and then you guys will have to come back to them again and do 60 more degrees. Alright guys, and now we'll do 60 more degrees. You don't have to be 100% precise, it just has to be approximately 60 degrees more. And this is the proper tightening procedure based on how Volvo wants you to do it. Now it's time to deal with our wiring harness. In the set we've got the control unit right here. I'll show you guys the part number. Let's see how it looks. Here again, this is the control unit. This is a sticker actually that we used to attach our control unit inside the vehicle. Again, the part number. And also we have a fuse here. Next we have the wiring harness itself. I'll show you guys the port number. And this is how it looks. We've got the socket right here. This is 7 blade, and right next to it, right away we've got the 4 pins, which is again quite convenient. You have everything at once. It's all pretty much ready to go. And on the other end, well, we have this rubber grommet here, and this is a connector that will go inside the vehicle. To install the wiring harness, we'll have to remove this rubber plug, and as you can see, it just comes out immediately. Our wiring harness first we'll go through this opening, push the wire all the way. Then you go above the hitch here and through the opening here until you reach the rubber plug. Seal the wiring, make sure that the metal is between the rubber plug. What I mean is rubber should be on both sides of the metal. And after that we will attach our harness to the existing bolts on the hitch this way. Again, Volvo conveniently pre-installed these studs for the wiring harness. And there's one more. And now we can secure the socket. All the bolts come in the set.
It's plastic, so it's hand tight only.
Okay guys, our hitch installation is complete at this point. Our wiring is partially installed as well. Right now we will reinstall the rear bumper. Installation is being done in the reverse order of removal. We put the bumper cover on. I'll show you guys how it looks now. Well, similar to when we were removing it. Now the goal is to make sure that it's all aligned properly everywhere before we actually start inserting everything back. And on the bottom, I'll show you guys. Make sure that this plastic is actually below the metal. So start pressing in the middle first. Then you'll be able to do the sides.
So make sure that this piece goes on the top, like that. So make sure this part is latched. And that one as well.
Our bumper is on. Again guys, we'll give you a quick guide. First start on the top here, make sure it all snaps in. At the same time you have to make sure that the bottom sits on top of the metal. Then slowly work your way up to this area, to these hooks, and then you'll be able to do this side, and the same thing on the other side. First this area gets done, and then you'll be able to finish it off right here. Now we will install this trim piece. First start from here, from the left. And now the left side again, this end goes in first. Now you want to make sure that clips align with the openings. And then press. Don't forget to install these. Insert and turn clockwise. Now we can reinstall the bolts. There are 4 of them holding the bumper on the bottom. And 2 more on the left. The mud flaps go back on. First the plug, and 2 screws go in as well. Now we have to reinstall the 5 screws.
So go into the plastic, that is why it should be hand tight only, no torque to pull.
And now we'll have to install the mud guard and these 5 bolts on the other side as well. Right here we have the double-sided tape for our control unit. This is the part number. One piece of tape may not be enough, that's why you guys might want to consider getting extra. 3M makes these as well, it's called 3M Dual Lock. Now we'll use isopropyl alcohol to degrease the surface on the unit itself and on the vehicle. One piece gets installed approximately 40 centimeters from this arrow, up arrow that you can see. And one more piece gets installed slightly below, approximately 20 centimeters from the bottom. The way it works is the second piece of this dual lock gets installed like this and gets attached to the metallic part of the vehicle. And when you guys install it, make sure that the connectors, the large connector is at the bottom of the unit. We will connect small connectors that come on the wiring to the existing bolts, to the existing wiring inside the vehicle. There's one right here. Again guys, when you get the original wiring, it's all done for you. And one more over there. The grounding bolt is located right here. First remove the nut. And now we'll install the ground for our wiring. We will also use the dielectric silicone compound on the ground. This will prevent possible corrosion in the future. And the same nut goes back on. Alright, so we have already connected the big large connector from our socket. Now we'll connect the 2 connectors that were pre-wired in the vehicle. And that's it. At this point, installation of the main wiring and control unit for our hitch is complete. Also, in case if you guys plan to do the software update at the dealership, we recommend you guys to take a picture of all these numbers, the part number, the serial numbers, because they might need it. And you won't have access to it after you install all the trim back. Now it's time to reinstall all our panels and trim. We'll start with this big one. As you may remember, we have a couple of connectors that need to be connected here. Now we will install this plastic panel. As you can see, it goes partially underneath the previous panel, and this is how it looks. Reinstall the bolts. now this panel will go first to the top, where you have those anchors. And when you guys install this panel, you have to make sure that the belt is loose. Also guys, you have to take a look at the clips. From here you will see a couple right away. Currently they're not aligned properly, so you'll have to actually lift this panel up a little bit. And it's hard to show you, but you will also be able to see more clips on this level. There's one right there. Again, basically you have to visually inspect it first and then push this panel a little bit up, and then it will go in. So the black clip is now in, and yeah, now both of them are in. Again, this is important, this way you guys don't break them. This is the next panel. It has 4 clips.
So before you put this part, make sure this is no gap, it's actually aligned perfectly. And
torque for this bolt is 4.5 Newton meters. And the last piece right here. Now we can install this panel. And again guys, torque is 4.5 Newton meters. And our final panel, similar to how we removed it, you simply have to push it in. And as before, it will take some effort, but yeah, there it is. And also guys, don't forget about these 2 springs on the sides. And that's it, installation of the panels is complete. And now it's time to reconnect our negative terminal on the battery. We'll use some dielectric silicone as well. And torque in this case, guys, is 6 Newton meters. Our hitch and wiring installation is complete. I'll show you guys again quickly how it looks now. This is our cutout. This is a bracket again. And what I would like to add is that if you guys want to have trailer stability assist function, you do need to go to the dealership and do the software update. This function will prevent snaking. In case if you tow a trailer, it will prevent snaking. That's it for our installation video today. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.